Welcome back to the Racial Draft Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Ford, joined by the lovely Julia Delbel. Julia, hey, what's up?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay. We're also joined by Toriono. Toriono, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Cool, cool, cool. And if this is your first episode, woo, we got a doozy for you. But I am going to apologize right off the top because we're going to do things a little bit differently from what we normally do, which is change the complexion of the comic book universe one draft pick at a time. I'm going to just talk a little bit generally about why this podcast exists. There's a lot going on in fandom spaces right now about representation and inclusion. And this podcast would not exist but for the concerns that I have about that in the culture, in the geek culture. I've been a part in one way, shape or form of geek culture for 40 years or so. And, there's a lot that goes into being from a marginalized community and being involved in geek culture. And, a lot of it has to do with gatekeeping, not just gatekeeping in the way that we discuss it today, but gatekeeping in the way of even who was traditionally allowed to be depicted in the stories that we have grown to love, and who was allowed to tell those stories. And it was constantly a push pull when it comes to being a fan of these properties, which on a certain level were telling you that your lives, your stories, your humanity on a certain level didn't matter as much as some other people did. And over the course of years, things have gotten better. They're still not where they need to be. And it's important to have these discussions about what it looks like, about opening up your imagination beyond what you've seen thus far to what you could see in the future, and not being beholden to the traditions, to the past, to the gatekeeping, to these are the people whose stories matter and these are the people whose stories don't matter. So one of the things that we're always aspiring to do with the racial draft, is trying to I say reimagine, but often it's just imagining, opening up your imagination as to what these characters could be and what they could mean for different people if they were given another lens of creativity and another lens of creative vision. And unfortunately, we had a stark reminder, and we'll get into it, a little later when we get into our stories. We got a stark reminder in, one of my most beloved fandoms, which is Star Wars, that there's a constituency of people who feel like still certain identities, certain characters, certain kinds of people don't deserve to have their stories told, and they don't deserve to be in this supposed imagined universe. And, I would say, on behalf of the podcast, and hopefully on behalf of the people who, are take part in the racial draft, that we reject that notion. We reject that idea that people should feel unwelcome and feel that these spaces and these storytelling universes don't have a place for them. So, with that all said, I apologize for taking us into a less hilarious tone, but this is something I needed to get off my chest right at the outset, and hopefully, we can commence with the shenanigans as we often do. But before we do, do you have anything that you'd like to add, either you, Julia, or you, Toriono?
I think you pretty much said it.
Yeah, I think you covered all the bases. We spoke about this earlier in private, so I feel really good about what you covered in the initial segment.
Okay. All right. So on that note, I guess we might as well just start with the story then. I suppose there's a nice spin on the story, which is that Moses Ingram, who plays Reva on the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, She's playing one of the antagonists. She was subjected to racist online attacks from people in the fandom. And in this particular instance, Star Wars social media, people from the other cast members from Star Wars, including the title, the star Ewan McGregor, came to her defense, stood up for her, and they, said in no uncertain terms that she belongs, and that the people who are trying to make her feel unwelcome are not welcome in the fandom. Which, again, positive spin on a story that's generally something that we shouldn't have to be subjected to.
Mhm.
Do you have any sorry, I feel like I'm monopolizing discussion. Julia, do you have any thoughts about that?
I think you said it pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry,
Toriano,
I
what about
don't
you?
have much to say lately because I've been out of the loop. So, but I've seen a lot of this, and yeah, I think you said it. I'm being serious. So yeah.
What about you, Toriano? You have anything else about this?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the conversation, and it's very disappointing for people to kind of defend some of the behavior that's been happening towards Moses Ingram. I have loved that they've learned from the situations with John Boyega, and I believe the young lady's name is Kelly
Kelly
Marie
Marie Tran.
Tran. Yes. They've Star Wars as a franchise has learned from those particular situations, and they are creating a no tolerance zone, which I believe should be in every safe space in terms of any medium. Racism is not tolerated; it should not be tolerated, and spewing hatred to anybody privately or in public should be talked about. It should be a conversation. And I think the biggest thing about the Racial Draft podcast is we want to have that conversation. That's the biggest thing. And creating that conversation, we see the negativity, but it also allows us to have dialogue and create an understanding and also dismantle the problem. Why are people attacking people? Why do they think that she's just, they kind of called her a token character.
Yeah.
And to me, that was kind of weird to say because she is really somewhat of the main antagonist. I know Vader is, really being portrayed as like the big bad.
Not too many spoilers for the show for the people who haven't watched it. But yeah, I mean, but unfortunately, that's a mindset, right? That the idea that and this and I was listening to another podcast and they made a really good point, which we don't like to admit. Star Wars wasn't super diverse at its inception, and it allowed people to have the mentality that diversity is something to be added in and something to be shoehorned in rather than something that's organic to the universe. So in their minds, adding a black antagonist is a token move, or it's some kind of quota or quote unquote woke points or anything of that nature, rather than just better reflecting what it would look like if there was a galaxy filled with millions of planets, with millions of species, with millions of identities, humanoid and otherwise. It's more shocking that we're just now getting a prominent black character 40 years into the franchise, as opposed to the idea that it's shocking that there is a black you know what I mean? What I mean? Like the fact that they're looking at the anomaly, they're looking at her as the anomaly, and they're reacting negatively to it, just goes to show how wrong-headed up to this point, I won't say wrong-headed that this property has been, but it's allowed the wrong-headed thinking to prosper. It's allowed the notion that she, a character that looks like her, doesn't fully fit in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. And not to stray too far away from the conversation, but I think we can also say the same thing for what's going on with Marvel. We're seeing a lot of people that are unacceptable, showing unacceptable behavior towards the upcoming Miss Marvel show. and calling it a diversity show, seeing as the character is still somewhat relatively new, premiering in 2014. So I think a lot of people are just kind of seeing it as a diversity push, just because the original 6 Avengers are all white.
Yeah. I mean, you know what?
All.
Let's transition, because speaking of Disney Plus shows that air on Wednesdays, I mean, Ms. Marvel's premiere is going to air this Wednesday, and
Well, that's the only thing that I think we're going to be talking about tonight that I've actually seen. So yeah.
Okay, well,
it's not even out yet. So yeah.
And it's always funny when the whole idea of a quote unquote diversity push. I mean, like you said, Toriono, it's viewed as a diversity push because in the beginning it wasn't very diverse. So I mean, again, it took less time than it took for Star Wars, right? But the notion, Sana Amanat, I think that's how her name is pronounced. One of the reasons that she took such a hand in the creation of Ms. Marvel was because she didn't have a lot of characters. So she was a Marvel editor at the time. She didn't have a lot of characters growing up in Marvel comics that reminded her of her. And in tandem with Julia Wilson, they created the character, and it's meant so much. She's meant so much to so many people, Kamala Khan, that from putting the diversity aspect aside for a second, it's a money thing. You have a group of people who love the character and want to see that character depicted on screen. It's now, granted, part of that is because she's the first not the first Muslim character to ever exist in Marvel, but one of the first Muslim lead characters in Marvel. Definitely. And that, and the fact that she's showing an aspect of the American experience, being a first generation Pakistani American growing up in New Jersey, and like her story resonating with a lot of people is what makes her an interesting character, and depicting that interesting character is going to lead to more money for Marvel. It is a business decision as well as a creative decision. And the people who are the people who are alienated by seeing an identity that seems foreign to them, and not wanting to give that story a chance. I mean, they're showing the limitations of their humanity and the limitations of their creativity.
Definitely. I agree with that.
I mean, again, we know this as, we know this as people of color, and as, Julie, as a woman, you see people in stories all the time that are not like you, and you can relate to them because of the characteristics that they have, the heroic or the villainous characteristics, whatever it is that makes them a formative, three-dimensional human being. You can relate to them because they're people, or meant to be people, because they're fictional. But the idea is that we know that we're capable of doing that. Why aren't these people capable of doing that?
Yeah, it's a very difficult conversation, and I've confronted even some people that I know personally that have said that they're not interested in the show at all. And I've asked them, is it because it's a female lead? Mm-hmm. Is it because it's a Pakistani American? Is it because they've kind of intended that it's more so for a younger audience? But to me, as a person that's seen it already, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but to me, it's for a younger demographic, but it's for a teen to young adult demographic. Yeah. So for me, when I spoke to my friends about it, as us being in the younger demographic, why would you not, be open to at least giving the show a chance, at least watching the first episode, or watching the first couple of episodes, and then just, allowing for your thought process to kind of create your own opinion on it.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, granted, look, I'm an older person myself, and there will occasionally I'll see something that looks like, oh, this is for kids, you know, like young kids. It might still be good, but I mean, I might be less likely to dive into it because it's for, you know, I think it's for young children or for families or whatever, you know, this, that, and the other. However, if you are a Marvel fan, this shouldn't be the first time that you've been exposed to a character that is meant for kids. I mean, most Marvel characters are on some certain level meant for kids.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's just it's now granted, if you watched it, had a couple episodes, and you just kind of realize that the issues and the character just didn't kind of click for you. I get it. You know, it's still worth interrogating why, but to right off the bat reject it, it does raise questions as to, you know, what is it that's putting you off of the character and putting you off of the story.
Yeah, it's just very difficult. And, you know, even as a man myself, I find it very, very irritating when I see discourse about, you know, disliking a show or a film because there's a female lead. And, you know, me personally, I really love the Miss Marvel character. I love Iman Vellani's portrayal, and really, I'm just excited to see the reaction to the show. I really feel like it's going to be a very positive reaction. We know that there's going to be some of the naysayers and some of the negative folks, but I really think that this is going to be a positive step in the right direction. And it could lead to potentially, I know a lot of people have been talking about this, but it could lead us into the Young Avengers era. And a lot of people aren't really creating that talk.
So I guess we can get into it. It's a little bit geekier than you know, than where we started, but you know, I'm a big fan of Ms. Marvel. I am a little skeptical though of the Young Avengers of it all. And that's
I don't know if they're gonna have her in it because she's already gonna be in the Marvels.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. I have a piece that I was working on that hopefully is coming out this week about kind of looking at the younger characters that have been introduced so far in Phase 4 and before, and sort of like ranking the probability of them being part of whatever Young Avengers you know, they decide to create, and what that team could look like in terms of you know, their age group and their orientation, why they were formed in the first place. And you know, Ms. Marvel's kind of in the middle because traditionally part of her story is that she kind of looks up to the heroes, to, you know, more so than wants to kind of take their place. And she arrives at the journey, you know, in creating the champions. It comes after she kind of gets over that period of, you know, of these are my heroes, these are the people that I, you know, worshipped, and then seeing kind of their dysfunction, decides to go about it a different way. So from my, you know, from the perspective of the arc, of the meta arc of what her character could be, I would hope that they wouldn't, you know, eliminate that, you know, that part of it, because it's also one of the things that makes her such a great leader, that you know, she starts from the place of you know, these heroes can do no wrong, and then arrives at the place of they're people just like everybody else, and I have enough agency and I have enough of a desire to want to make the world a better place in the way that seems familiar to me, that I can rally like-minded heroes and do the same. You know, and I think it works when the heroes in question are her peers, more so than if they're 5-6 years older than her. So we'll see how that goes. You know, I'm more in the realm of, I think that the Young Avengers for the most part are going to be kind of in their early 20s. The Young Avengers, you know, are going to be like characters closer to Kate Bishop's age than Ms. Marvel's age, but we'll see. I guess we should transition to other aspect of inclusion. You know, this is some good news. This is DC Comics, who's, you know, sometimes they don't give us all the good news, but this is some good news. It's Pride, you know, Pride Month. Happy Pride, everybody. And DC is celebrating Pride with a whole bunch of properties. There's a DC Pride hub on their website, and they've got the special Pride issue. They're partnering with PF Lag National, which I'm not familiar with. PFLAG National, sorry. And they're going to be distributing 10,000 copies of their Pride book, the anthology book. They're also going to make some of their stories that feature LGBTQ characters prominently free on their DC Universe Infinite site. And we've seen a lot of artwork going around that prominently features these characters, with the flag in the background. So just gonna give some props to DC for all their efforts in terms of celebrating Pride. I'm sure Marvel will do something similar soon, but DC's right out kicking it off. And I do think that recently they've had a solid push in terms of making their sort of core hero base more diverse.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Julia?
No, it's good.
Well,
So weird. You always ask me if I have anything to add. It's like if I have something to add, trust me, I will add it.
okay.
Sometimes I
Well,
haven't seen the thing, or sometimes I don't know. Okay, I'm
so
just saying.
So
Schools changed
transitioning from
so much this week.
good DC to bad DC, Gotham Knights. Has everyone seen the Gotham Knights trailer?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Video
good,
game,
good.
right?
Oh, we can do
Oh
that
no, the
thing.
show. Yeah, it's a show with the guy with it. Misha Collins. That's all I know. I heard it
Yes.
Okay.
sucks.
No, this is good that we can do that thing that I haven't done in a while, where we'll do a live reaction to the trailer right here
Oh,
and
okay.
now. Yeah, so give me a second to set it up because I got to share my screen. But this will be fun. Well, suffice it to say, the reaction to that trailer was not positive.
No.
And people want to know, all those CW shows got canceled so Gotham Knights could live. Do you feel like these were all worthwhile sacrifices?
It feels like they wanted to start something new. I mean, this is probably not a good idea, but like that's what they probably wanted. So yeah.
I mean, it's definitely what they wanted. It's coming in 2023, but I don't know if it's what the people want. I'm gonna have to say the people are pretty unanimously negative on this. So we shall see whether Riverdale in Gotham City has much of a future.
Well, you mean Riverdale and Gotham City? Like that's what the show is. Okay, because Riverdale's ending next year.
Yes.
But I heard they have superpowers in Riverdale. I heard that.
Yeah, I know that. I know that much. I know they have to.
Yeah. I'm not very keen on Riverdale, and I'm not very keen on Gotham Knights either.
I feel bad for the Gotham Knights video game because they had to put out like a tweet being like, we are in no way affiliated or associated with the Gotham Knights television show. Please buy our game. We actually have Gotham characters in there doing stuff.
Yeah. This is just, I feel like it's a poor excuse for CW to keep the rights to continue their relationship with DC. I feel like they're kind of paddling in the water just to put an idea out.
Yeah,
but
this isn't it. This isn't it.
Yeah, it's falling flat on its face. I believe the Turner Thomas character is a new character.
Which even in the development when they were talking about that, I sort of knew that they were purposely having this Turner Hayes character be a new character so that they could do whatever they wanted with him. I mean, I know that almost all of the Bat children have a constituency of fans that want to see them well portrayed. So it's made sense to like give someone that has like a completely blank slate. But I didn't expect his blank slate to be that blank. Like he feels like generic CW lead number 12. There's just he's giving me nothing.
Yeah, it's a very lifeless performance, and I know it's just a 3-minute trailer, but We see nothing. I think the highlight of the trailer is seeing a black Carrie Kelly.
Right.
Like,
Which points for the racial draft black delegation if you want to make that happen. But
yeah, I mean, it's just like the entire trailer. I think that is the longest trailer I have ever sat through. And
it feels even longer
it feels even longer.
because there's nothing happening.
Nothing. And I feel like they gave us the first 2 episodes in the entire trailer, but the first 2 episodes look like crap.
Yes. Yeah. And like what's kind of weird is that like he's, like that guy is supposed to be Harvey Dent. He's not doing it for me. He's not doing it for me. He's probably going to become Two-Face, right? That's probably a thing.
Yeah.
But
Probably.
yeah. So thumbs down on Gotham Knights. We'll see. We'll see how things go. We'll see how things go in 2023, assuming that they have retooled it significantly. And I guess that satisfies our DC news. Let's jump
Oh, that's
back.
all that happened with DC this week. See, I'm out of the loop again. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think anything major happened in DC this week that I can think of. I guess we can go from one disaster to another. Apparently, it was not Morbin time at the box office, as based on memes, Sony saw fit to re-release Morbius into 1,000 theaters, only to make, I know that on Friday they only made 85,000, which is less than $100 per screen for those of you keeping score at home. And I think for the entire weekend, I think they made somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000, which that's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. I don't think that you should be paying attention to memes and making major box office decisions on the basis of those memes. So egg on the face of Sony as they continue to take L's.
As the memes say, they got morbed.
Don't understand why they thought someone got fired. I'm telling you, somebody either got fired or is getting fired on Monday for talking their boss into, look at these memes, guys. Look at these memes. We can make so much more money if we put it back out.
So much social engagement, and it was just a poor business decision. It was a poor, business relation decision, because I'm sure these theaters are upset.
They could have been showing. They should have been showing Maverick. More Top Gun Maverick.
Definitely. They would have made more money.
Right. I would not be surprised if one theater made more money on Top Gun Maverick than the entirety of the Morbius run.
I wouldn't be surprised at that, because you said the number was 300,000.
I mean, let me make sure. It was 85,000 on that Friday.
Yeah,
so,
85,000.
Yeah, and I was estimating it because when the story first came out, they were estimating it for the weekend. But let's find out.
I saw something earlier today that said 185,000, which was still extremely low for the weekend.
Yeah, because it's again 185 per screen. And those of you, we know how expensive tickets are. That means that like less than 20 people bought tickets on each for the entirety of the weekend, for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure that Top Gun Maverick would have made significantly more in those same 1,000 auditoriums. But you're probably right. It was probably closer to 185. I think they were estimating it based on pre-sales, but it wouldn't be surprised people went ahead and canceled their Morbin time. So yeah, that let's go from going to some casting news. We got a couple casting stories with with no characters attached. The first one is Daniela Melchior, who you might know as Ratcatcher from the Suicide Squad. She has been confirmed to be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but her character is still not confirmed. Julia, over here, do you have any scoops as to who her character might be? Or
I don't have scoops. I'm just excited.
okay,
Yeah, I'm really happy.
I like her, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up because I don't know how big of a role she's going to have or
I
whether
don't
she's
think it's gonna
going.
be that big a role. I'm just happy she's in it.
Yeah. Yeah, she
Yeah.
should definitely be on more things, and I'm hoping that whatever role it is, they don't put her in any kind of like makeup or whatever, so I won't be able to see her face.
She's also it's funny. She's doing she did DC, she's in Marvel, and she's gonna be in Fast and Furious. So she's hitting all those.
Oh, I did not
Yeah,
realize she's
I
Fast and
forgot she's in
Furious.
Fast 10.
Yeah.
Nice. Everyone's in Fast 10 apparently. It's like it's Fast 10 and Knives Out, or basically every and the Christopher Nolan movie between those
And Barbie.
three. Yeah, that's another one. Like
It's the real multiverse of madness.
yeah, it's everyone. All the cameos that we didn't get in Doctor Strange 2, we're getting in Fast 10. All the universes. That's what, you know what? We just cracked the code. In Fast 10, they meet multiverse versions of themselves. They drive through the multiverse. And you heard it here first, guys.
It wouldn't be that surprising. Yeah,
They
when I
disrupt the
would-
drive
yeah.
of the space-time continuum.
The only thing more powerful than the multiverse
It's family.
is family. Who doesn't want to see 3 Dom Torettos drinking Coronas together?
And 6 of his brothers. We get a new brother every movie.
It's true, or a new family member of someone. I think this time out we're gonna get Brian family members. We're gonna get long lost Brian family. This movie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, good on Daniela Melchior. Get those checks, secure the bag. A little more disappointing because of the universe that she's gonna be in. Isabella Merced, is she the one who played Dora the Explorer? Or
Yes.
okay.
Oh yeah, she was in the running for Batgirl. I know that.
Yes, I didn't know that. So she's going to be joining Sydney Sweeney, Celeste O'Connor, and Dakota Johnson in Madam Web. We still don't know who she's going to be. We still don't know who a lot of these characters are going to be playing in Madam Web. But good for Isabella Merced. She's going to be in Father of the Bride remake. Within that's what she's going to be next in. With
Oh yeah,
Andy
that's
Garcia.
in like a couple weeks. Yeah.
Okay, well, so good for her because I hope luckily she's not going to be relying upon this movie to keep her career afloat because
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't want that for anybody.
Yeah. I think she's going to be a busybody, and I actually have my own theory on what's going to happen in the Madam Web movie.
Oh, I mean, lay it on the people, or are you going to write about it?
I'll do both.
Okay.
I think we're not going to see Sydney Sweeney as Black Cat, but we're going to see all of the young women that are being cast as different versions of the Spider Women that we have in the comics.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that at least Dakota Johnson was going to be Julia Carpenter, and I hadn't really just figured out what the other roles that the other women would be playing would be. I mean, I personally think that Black Cat's a character that probably should be in the MCU, especially where Peter Parker is currently in terms
his life.
in his life and his story. That feels like the next logical addition to his mythos. So it would be disappointing if Black Cat were in this movie and not in the next Spider-Man movie. From a asset management perspective, if you're Sony, you probably get more out of Black Cat in there than in Madam Web. No, and again, I do hope that this movie is going to be good, and I like these actors. I like the S.J. Clarkson. There was another casting from this movie which I just heard about. His name is Tahar Rahim. I'm not familiar with his work, but he's first male actor to be associated with this project. The show that he's associated with is The Serpent, and he was also in the Mauritanian, which I have heard of. Oh, he's also in Napoleon. Okay, with Joaquin Phoenix. So yeah, he's got a little bit of a rising star. We again still don't know what his role is because they just cast these people and don't give us insight into who they're playing. But that's, you know, staying in the realm of a character that we actually do know is sort of, we'll say, sort of know. Tenoch Huerta, who is heavily rumored and almost confirmed, but not officially confirmed, like 90% confirmed to be playing Namor in Black Panther 2. He had a recent interview where he confirmed that he's in Black Panther 2 and that he confirmed he's playing a major character and that he's going to be learning Mayan or has learned Mayan for the role. And that continues to jumpstart speculation that the Namor in the MCU is going to be somehow related to kind of the ancient Mexican / South American indigenous people, almost kind of, you know, almost like a Wakanda of the Wakanda of the Central or Latin America, if you will. Do you have any further thoughts about the continued rumors around the changes to Namor?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the thought process of him learning. I believe they confirmed that he's been learning Mayan.
Mhm.
So I'm just very excited to see that come to fruition. I've been chanting for a Native American or Hispanic Namor for a long time. And for us to get a combination of that with him being Mayan, I think it's perfect.
Yeah. And in no way you don't, and you no way benefited from this as the head of the Native American delegation.
Oh, I would definitely benefit. I can't wait to get Namor next season. Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, listen, we may yet get a trailer. We may yet get a trailer for depending on how long the finals go, you know, for Black Panther 2. So you might get some bonus points if the trailer drops. Speaking of trailers, this wasn't on our docket, but everyone looking forward to the Black Adam trailer, which is going to drop this week.
Oh, I didn't know it was dropping this week, but yeah, it sounds. I'm excited now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it's dropping on the 8th of
Yes.
So Wednesday.
June.
Okay.
You know, so obviously there are continuing concerns about the fact that Dwayne Johnson is not in fact of any kind of MENA Middle East or North African background, but you know, he has created a fairly diverse Justice Society, and yeah, I'm very curious to see how the movie does and how it may become a launching ground for the Justice Society in pop culture. So stay tuned next week and we'll give you our thoughts about the Black Adam trailer. And hopefully my technology will cooperate in case we have to do a live watch. But Patreon, Patreon, where I can upgrade my computer. Little lighthearted news. Apparently, someone's been doing the math on the Thor: Love and Thunder trailer, and they were able to isolate what the most replayed moment of the trailer was.
Oh, God, YouTube does that now.
Does anyone want to guess what the most replayed moment of the Thor trailer is?
The eye moment,
What moment?
like the part with him and Star-Lord.
No,
I would predict that it's the moment where they strip him.
that is correct.
Oh, yeah,
That is correct. Naked Chris Hemsworth gets all of the page views and the clicks. So yeah, apparently you look forward to more naked Marvel heroes in our trailers if we want to get those views up.
Oh yes.
So, or maybe just naked Chris Hemsworth. Maybe they'll just find a way to put naked Chris Hemsworth in every trailer.
Heck, make it all the Hemsworths.
the multiverse of Hemsworths.
There's 3, right? There's 3 of them, right?
I think there's at least 3. I think there are 3 that act. I don't know if
Yes.
there are any more that, you know, just kind of, you know, accountant Hemsworth who has
Wait,
to,
there's
like,
3 that act. I only know 2 of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a third actor Hemsworth who isn't as
Oh.
good looking as the other 2.
Yeah, he doesn't get the love that the other two get. There's Chris, there's Liam, and there's Luke. Luke
Oh,
is
yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, Luke was the one I forgot about, but yeah.
yeah, Luke is the short one. We'll just say yeah, the short
Oh,
king. He's our short king.
but is he? So wait, is he actually as good looking as them and just short, or is he just not as good looking? Because I thought he wasn't as good looking.
I think he's the eldest, so a lot of people may attribute that to saying he's not as good looking. Just because he kind of shows his age.
Oh, that's rough.
Um,
Yeah.
I but to be fair to the guy, he's a good looking gentleman,
Okay.
I'm not gonna,
All right. But it's tough when your other two brothers
when
are
your other two
Chris
brothers
and
are
Liam
that level.
Hemsworth. Like,
Yeah.
That's a rough look for your guy, Like
Yeah,
it's
your
like,
two little brothers.
The
Yeah.
expectations are higher.
yeah, it's
Yes.
like if he's also an actor. Imagine being the agent for like, Luke Hemsworth, and he's just constantly getting callbacks until they find out that he's like that Hemsworth brother. It's a rough,
Aw.
it's a rough look
His
for
other
our
brothers
guy.
are 6'3", and I believe he's 5'8".
Oh man, they got to look at some point. They got to look out for him. At some
Oh
point,
yes.
they have to do a movie where he is in a prominent role, just so that he's not out in the cold at the family dinners, family
Yeah.
functions.
Right.
I'm sorry, he's 5'9". 5'9". We'll
Oh,
show him
man.
his respect as a short.
Ex- Short kings demand respect.
Oh yes.
Maybe he can play Wolverine. Maybe he can be listen. We only get, listen, as a representative of the short delegation, like we don't get that many characters that are like out there in pop culture that are, we lost Wolverine so many years ago. We would love to have him back in the fold.
Honestly, I think he has the look. He's 5'9". He's not an ugly guy. I'll say that. He's 5'9". He has the look. He's Australian, but I'm sure that he could pull off a Canadian accent.
I mean, Hugh Jackman's Australian, right? So I mean,
yes, he is.
Yeah. So I'm here. Okay, so we're starting the campaign now. Luke Hemsworth for Wolverine. Let's do it. Uh-oh. Hopefully. Oh, we're back. Julie, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we just lost Toriono for a second. Hopefully he'll be back in a second. I think those are all of our stories. I think we have one more story, which of course Toriono specifically wanted us to talk about. So we'll wait for him to.
I have some as well, but yeah.
Oh, go ahead and lay one on us.
What was I gonna say? I keep forgetting. Okay. Oh,
He'll be back. He probably had to restart.
okay. Well, I forget. Okay, so I can tell you this. So MTV Movie Awards are happening right now, and we got
Okay.
some winners in the Marvel circle. We got Spider-Man won Best Movie.
Nice.
Controversially, they did not win Best Kiss, and people think it's rigged now because Jackass won Best Kiss.
Wow. They do have a
But
strong
Spider-Man
fan
won a bunch of
following.
other stuff. And the conspiracy is because they couldn't be in person, that's why they didn't win or anything. Loki also won some stuff, and Sophia DiMartino was there. And as soon as I saw she was there, I'm like, yeah, she won her category because she was really pushing out her category.
Okay.
But yeah, she won, and then they won Best Team, and then Spider-Man won a bunch more stuff. I don't think anything else from Marvel won. I don't know if DC or Star Wars won anything. Well, Star Wars didn't really release anything last year, did they?
Well, Boba Fett.
Oh, they had the no,
AKA
Boba Fett was this year mostly, but yeah, they had the Rebel. Was it like I forgot what it's called?
The Bad
The
Batch.
anime
Oh, Star Wars Visions. Yes.
Visions. That's right. They had that, and then I keep forgetting. Like, I feel like something else happened that I forgot that we didn't mention that I forgot about. Oh, a new Thor thing dropped.
Yeah, that little. I mean, I that one was international, right?
Yeah,
The
clip.
yeah, the international. Oh no, you mean the international promo, right? With Thor and Jane kind of like joking about like who's the real Thor.
I saw I saw a scene where he tries to get Mjolnir, and then it goes to Jane.
Oh, well, wasn't that I saw that clip. I did see that clip. But
Yeah, that was.
I didn't know how much there was to say about.
No, I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't know. I was wondering if anyone like I don't know because like the key thing of that one is that he hasn't. It looks like he hasn't seen Mjolnir in a while, so it's like that's the return of it.
Right.
So that's interesting. I don't know.
Which
I
reminds
think that
me,
was,
tickets should be available soon, right?
yeah, I'm wondering when that. I'm wondering when prom was going to ramp up for this movie. That's what I want to talk about because I know Ms. Marvel is this week. I keep forgetting it's not already out because I saw it like 2 weeks ago. So it's like, oh yeah, that's still not out yet.
Humble brag much. Go on.
Sorry. Well, it's not like I can see everything because, like, look, I have to skip Lightyear, and there's 2 screens that for press, and I can't go to either of them. So, look, I can't see everything, but like, so I'm gonna be happy about Ms. Marvel. But yeah, so I saw that. So I keep forgetting that's like hasn't started yet, because then once that actually starts, I assume we'll get more for Thor because Thor's
Right.
like a month away now.
Yeah. And usually tickets go on sale about a month out. And we're back. Those of you who know about our struggles with technology this episode know that the machines won temporarily. However, we are back mounting our rebellion against the technical overlords. And my assistance, my alliance, if as it were, in this fight with new entrants. And those entrants would be Carlos. Hey, what's up? The champ is here.
That's it. Champ is here.
And
Hashtag, I think we should call our little group here the Illuminati.
Nice. And those dulcet tones you hear are one half of the Screen Sisters, Stephanie. Screen Sister Stephanie lets people know.
I'm Stephanie. I go by Screen Sisters with my sister. We do movie reviews whenever we're not doing homework. And that's about it. I think we're recording tomorrow. Oh,
Nice.
If anyone wants to come on tomorrow night.
What's happening tomorrow night?
We're just going to talk, I think. If you want to come on, and we can do our Star Wars talk, the one that we were having, but we were too busy on the boys' watch party to do the Star Wars chat.
Well, there you go. You might hear me tomorrow night or whenever their podcast comes out, talking some Star Wars with the Screen Sisters. It's always a good time. We do watch parties even every now and then as well. I think we line up like 4 different watch parties.
Oh yeah, we have the Wolf. Or wait, no, Wolfman.
No, Brotherhood of the Wolf, right? No.
Oh, I thought it was Wolf, the Wolf or Wolfman.
Wait, it's
Or-
Brotherhood of the Wolf, Le Pacte de Wolf, the French.
Yeah, with Monica Bellucci and Mark Dacascos.
Bonkers.
Is it like sexy or is it like gory?
It's sexy and fighty.
It's like ninja medieval knights in France fighting werewolves or something. It makes zero sense and is amazing. Yeah.
It's all the things in the pot, and it's French.
You had me at France.
Yeah.
So excited
You had
now.
me at Monica Bellucci.
For real, to be honest.
You had me at ninja medieval knights. That makes
Like-
no sense.
Honestly, you had me at Wolf.
Okay.
So we're all doing this.
So
We're all
watch
doing
party.
Watch party for
Yes.
Brotherhood of the Wolf listeners.
Yes.
If you'd like to find out about the watch party, a special jointly sponsored watch party, follow Screen Sisters on Twitter and you'll find all the details. But we are still in the midst of our news segment. And I'm going to line this one up for Toriono because he is our resident Percy Jackson head. And you're going to talk us through the Percy Jackson casting news.
Yeah, so right now we've got our full cast. We're still waiting on announcements for a few more characters. I believe we'll be getting Italia, and obviously we'll be getting a few of the gods. But so far we have our Percy Jackson, who was played by the 13-year-old Walker Scobell. You may have known him from the hit Netflix film, The Adam Project.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have Leah Sava Jeffries. She's playing Annabeth Chase, and there's been a lot of internet discourse about her.
The black girl, right?
Yes.
Heard a little something about that.
Yes.
Black.
Black
Yeah.
Gods. What is this?
Yeah,
1990s.
there's been a lot of
125th
discourse about
Street?
that. A lot of it. And to me, like, honestly, it's very funny because, you know, in the books, it's not really vague on what the characters are. Honestly, they could have made Percy black if they wanted to. But
Listen, we've talked about this before. Percy Jackson definitely sounds like one of the Singers of the Temptations. Let's be real.
oh
Like-
yes. Oh yes.
It's like
It's a perfect name.
Percy and the
Perfect
Olympians feels like it's like
I could definitely see a young black man named Perseus in middle school.
listen, Percy Jackson and the Olympians definitely had a top 40 hit. Like-
Percy Jackson and the Olympians open for the Shy Lights.
Exactly.
Yes.
Milwaukee 1974.
Right. Now, granted, the album cover might have put some white people on it. Let's be real.
Yes.
But
Oh,
that
yeah.
doesn't mean that there weren't black people singing the songs. You know?
Yeah, they're probably just holding instruments, you know.
The Five Heartbeats featuring Percy Jackson and the Olympians. But so yeah, it looks like Megan Mullally, Jason Mantzoukas,
Love him.
our boy Glenn Thurman.
Glenn Thurman. I am
Thurman.
so happy to see him in this
Yep.
series.
And some other people who I'm not aware
I'm
of.
not familiar with that actor.
Glenn Thurman?
Uh,
Yeah, let me Google him. Who? Glenn?
Glenn
yeah,
Tur-
Glenn
T-U-R-M.
Turman.
You listen, he's an OG black actor. You've seen him on
Yeah,
stuff.
you've seen
You
him
just
in The
probably don't know
Wire.
him.
House
So
of
you've also
Cards.
seen him.
okay,
Fargo.
yeah. I'm sorry, I never knew his name.
It was
Yeah.
Dr. Senator on
He's
Fargo.
that guy. Like, oh, that's him. I know him.
Was
He
he-
might have been
Wasn't
the
he-
best part of the last season of Fargo. Honestly, he was
Yeah.
great.
Wasn't he also in a different world back in the day?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, he goes back.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's
didn't
right. He was on How to Get Away with Murder. That's how I
Did he-
recognize him.
did he get away with murder? Because I feel like a big
He
part of how to
did.
get away with murder is being a white
He was
man.
wrongfully convicted, I think, and then when he finally got out, he got murdered by somebody else.
Oh, so was it a white man that murdered him?
It was the mother or wife of whoever he was accused of killing.
Oh my
That's-
God, who did murder? Who did murder? Oh shit! It was the Mexican cartel.
Damn.
Oh,
the hell?
so, that's another way to get away with murder.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I guess
man,
we can
that's-
say he didn't. I guess we can say he didn't.
No, he didn't get. It sounds like he was wrongfully convicted, so he didn't get away with the murder that he didn't commit. That is,
Yeah.
if that's not the blackest thing of all time.
Yeah. I'm sure people were screaming at their TVs. I'm sure of it.
But no, say a little bit more about Percy Jackson, the casting, and like
Yes.
the characters, just so like bring it within the like why listeners of the Racial Draft should be hyped about it.
Yeah. So I actually just recently had an article posted by Agents of Fandom.
Okay, shout
as
out to
well.
Agents Fandom. Friends
Shout
of
out
the
Agents
podcast.
of Fandom.
Whoop, whoop.
So I just put out the article. We also dived into Arian Simhadri. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Apologies if that is incorrect. But he is also playing our Grover Underwood, and he, along with Leah, are both proven actors currently. They have a long track record so far, and Arian also has a strong track record with Disney. He recently appeared in the Cheaper by the Dozen remake, and
Okay.
also in the original film Spin, which was a Disney Channel original. So both of them, they have a strong track record. Leah has also appeared in Empire, Rel, and she's going to be in the upcoming film with Idris Elba, Beast.
Oh yeah, I saw a trailer for that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
So she's coming up.
yeah, she's coming up. She's coming up. So it's gonna be very exciting to see her get her shine. You mentioned Megan Mullally. She's been, a big time actress,
Sure.
SAG award winner, and Golden Globe nominated. Glenn Turman, legend in his own right. He's been in The Wire, House of Lies, Fargo. He'll be playing Kyron, also known as Mr. Brunner. Megan Mullally will be playing Mrs. Dodds, also known as Electo. She is one of the Furies of Hell, and she will be most likely the main villain we see early in the series.
Okay.
She plays one of Percy's teachers in his school, in his real life outside of Camp Half-Blood. But once we translate over to Camp Half Blood, we'll see more of Jason. How do you
Mantzoukas,
pronounce his last?
Mantzoukas, yeah.
Mantzoukas. We'll see a
Yeah.
little bit more of him, as well as Glenn Turman as they enter Camp Half Blood. But Sally Jackson will be played by Virginia Cole as well. She's been in Boardwalk Empire, Big Little Lies, Mr. Mercedes. And actually, Rick Riordan stated that she made him cry during their table read. So that was very interesting.
Okay.
And finally, we also have Tim Sharp, who is going to be playing the stepfather of Percy Jackson. And he's been in Blunt Talk, 6 Feet Under, and Undeclared. So they have a lot of strong.
And I gotta think that if you're like the stepfather of someone whose actual biological father is a god, that's a rough spot to be in. It's like, you're not my real dad. You know, like lightning bolt.
Yeah, I can just imagine, you're not my dad.
It's like, exactly. It's like, I'm the one who stepped up though. Oh man. Well, I mean, I'll give it a try. I mean, it's going to be on Disney Plus, right?
Yes.
So, you know, you don't have to head out to the theaters. When is it supposed to come out? Does it have a date?
We don't have an official date. They just started filming on June 3rd. So production just started on the first episode 2 days ago.
Okay.
So
probably in 2023 then.
Yeah, I think they're shooting for the summer of 2023.
Gotcha.
Cool. I hope that this show is like so thoroughly not for me, like in the best way. Like I hope this is a show that kids have that adults don't even need to worry about. Like just have this and enjoy it, and no think pieces about like what's going on, and like just have a show. Let the kids have their stories.
I think it's gonna be very difficult with the internet discourse because so much
but
of
the books have been
Jackson
out. Sorry to cut you off though. Like, when did the books come out though?
The books came out in the 2010s.
Yeah. So the audience is old enough, for there to be adults that are fans of the books. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it might be like a little bit like out of our generation, Carlos. But there are going to be think pieces. That's how.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all the 25-year-olds are already putting out think pieces. So it's going to be very difficult. And it's going to be, because with the writer room, there are a lot of people that have come from the Black Sales show. A lot of people that are experienced in writing adult themed shows. And I believe only one of the writers is experienced in writing comedy and writing for children. So there's only one writer out of, I believe there are 10 names. So out of 10 writers, one of them is only experienced with writing for children outside of Rick Riordan.
Got it.
So
I mean,
it's going to try and appeal to both, I think.
Sure. And, let's tie it back to like kind of where we started with the show. Obviously, you touched on it before, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to call it actual outcry, but attacks on the Ariane Simrati and Leah Salva Jeffries because they're people of color. Again, not things that should be in the fandom. If you have any additional thoughts about how the fandom has responded to those kinds of attacks and how you think they should respond. I know that Riordan put out some very strong statements in support of the actress that he had chosen for the character whose name is escaping me right now. Annabeth.
Or Annabeth.
Yeah.
Me personally, I loved what Rick Riordan did, not only as the showrunner, but also as the creator of the characters. He really put his foot down on the fans. He really put just a spotlight on them for their ignorance. And I think for him to do that, I think it kind of put pressure on other franchises within the Disney realm, such as Star Wars, which we saw with Moses Ingram. I think it put pressure on these franchises to say, hey, we have to put our foot down on social media for these actors and actresses. So,
but one thing that I would say, which kind of highlights the responsibility. Often what these people who are critical of race bending will do is that they'll try to use the creator as a cudgel. You know, they'll be like, this was not what, you know, X person intended. So you're going against the creator. And given that he is the creator, you know, he's in the position to make a statement and say, look, you know, hey, you know, I might have had this sketch that had, you know, someone that looked white, but that doesn't mean that in my contemplation of this character, I intended for this character to be white. So if you feel otherwise, you're going against me, the creator. You know, like a lot of other properties, either they've existed for, you know, a long time and the creator's not no longer with us, or they're often silent about things like that. Like, you know, even George Lucas, like it's been a long time since George Lucas has said anything, you know, unprompted about Star Wars and about these characters. You know, it's usually kind of like, you know, I don't agree with everything that Disney's done with the characters, which often people can you know, latch onto to say that perhaps Lucas supports their efforts. Now, I don't think he actually does, but his inability to, well, not sorry, unwillingness to make the kind of strong statement that Riordan has chosen to make, you know, allows for those kinds of elements to fester in the fan base, because they're doing it ostensibly in his name, even though we know that they're doing it in the name of white supremacy.
Yes, of course.
You know, but I agree. I think that he set the standard for what we would like to see from both creatives and the franchise in terms of supporting their people against the attacks of people who, you know, are doing it for all the wrong reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think that concludes our news for the week, our geek news for the week. And now we get to dive into our racial draft business. I will start by.
I have nothing prepared.
That's all right. That is a-okay, because
Prepared.
I like unprepared Stephanie. I like off the cuff Stephanie. So what we're gonna do first is we're just gonna run down the picks from the week, the 10 picks from the week for each delegation. And I don't even know if you've heard these picks yet. So I can. Oh, even good, even better. So we're gonna get your thumbs up, thumbs down on these picks this week. And no one's going to tip their hand. So starting us off, the Latinx delegation with Catalina Chavez, America Chavez's sister. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Hold up. I'm sorry. Right when you said that, I started trying to change my name on the thing.
Oh.
Okay. Can you say it right back to me again?
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Right on. It was an auspicious start. I love it. So starting us off with the Latinx delegation, Catalina Chavez, America Chavez's sister.
Okay. Yes.
Thumbs
Thank
up.
you.
I'm like, wow, that's a lot of thought about someone.
No, I was trying to think of
who's
like
canonically Latin.
That's why I just kind of like.
She's like, I don't know about this. Catalina Chavez. That feels like a stretch.
That sounds Filipino.
You're going too far.
We're just gonna call her. I'm gonna call her Canada Chavez from now on. But next pick. Bennett Duparis, aka Exodus, for the Jewish delegation. He is French. He fought in the Crusades. Scratch, 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 scratch.
Brotherhood of the Wolf. Le Pacte de Wolf.
And then he got his powers in Palestine. Scratch, 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 scratch.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of bending.
I will say this: dude's name is Exodus.
Yeah, that's right. That's the best. That's the.
If anyone's got a claim on the word Exodus, it might be the
strong move for the Jewish delegation.
Yeah.
I think what's worse for me is I'm not familiar with this character.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big character in the 90s because he was part of the Acolytes for Magneto.
Oh, okay.
but then he kind of disappeared for a while. I think he died actually.
What are his
Um,
powers?
Yeah.
Everything. He's got
Oh.
all the powers. Let me read
Oh.
him. He's got he's got agility, animation, astral projection, energy blast, energy absorption, energy
Okay.
manipulation, energy shield, energy enhanced strikes, flight, force field, healing, heat generation, illusion casting, intellect, leadership, levitation, longevity, psionic, siphon abilities, siphon life force, stamina, swordsmanship, telekinesis, telepathy, teleport, and tracking.
Bro.
I hate when
His
they
most
put
important
leadership
power
as a
is-
power.
His most important power is that whenever he plugs in a USB, it's always the right way the first time.
Yeah.
The years
Someone-
he's saving.
Someone rolled a 20.
Jeez.
Someone rolled a 20 on every single
That's nuts.
opportunity.
What? Who? What? That was.
Yeah, it's like OP, the character.
I mean, I assume they don't use him because he can do everything, right?
That is correct.
Yeah,
And that's why
so-
often he's an anti-hero or villain, because he shows up to the situation and the situation is over.
Oh
Why
my
was his
God.
name Exodus?
What was yeah.
Because
It should be whole damn Bible at that point. Like,
Yeah.
Listen, it was the 90s. It was a rough time. They were trying to do anything that could have an X in it.
with an X. in it.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
have
Oh,
we
yeah,
how
that's
many
true.
how many X names have we gone through, guys? Exculpates? Oh no, that's too many syllables. Extravagance.
Excess. That should be his name. Excess.
Excess.
He's got
That
all
is
of
correct.
Yeah, he's
That
got
is
all
correct.
the powers. I'm surprised one of his powers is being able to change his race.
So yeah, that's that's the origin. That's the origin. He was Jewish, and then his mutant power kicked in. He was like, wait a second, anti-Semitism is running rampant. I am now Christian. I am now a Christian. I don't want these problems. I don't want these
What is the
problems.
power of animation? Does that mean he can bring
Yeah.
things back to life? That's
I-
reanimation.
I mean, yeah, I mean, or maybe he just like moves people around like puppets. Maybe that's like
Is he one of the hive that like makes the new bodies?
no, he's not. He's just
Ooh.
What are they called? The
He just-
five? I don't know what they're
yeah.
called.
They're called the five.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but I think he was resurrected. No, he wasn't resurrected by the hive. I mean, by the five. Because I remember there was a scene of him like walking through the portal, all swagged out, like to
Okay.
Koa, being like, they let me into this place, and then that's how we know anyone's allowed in Krakoa. But yeah,
And then
he's
Kitty Pryde was like, wait, what happened? What happened? Why can't I?
right. And it's always so funny because like again, he was part of the acolytes, and like so he sits around every now and then, and when like Magneto does something that's like not about that life, he's like, I used to follow you. Used to be like ruthless. Like what is happening to you?
He's like Sam Jackson and Jackie Brown. He's like, yo ass used to be beautiful.
Yeah. So so Jewish Exodus. Like I mean, we're just gonna lean on the Bible aspect of it. And he he saw the mysterious power in the Palestinian territory back in the 12th century. So he was ahead of the curve, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
It was oil. It was oil. It was oil.
He mined the first Bitcoin in 1513.
So next up, we're still doing the thumbs up, thumbs down. Daisy Johnson, aka Quake, for the Southeast Asian delegation.
Johnson.
That sounds like a thumbs up. That's both hands up. You can't see it, listeners, but she is doing a dance.
Can confirm that is a dance.
That is a
For the black delegation, Vandal Savage.
Ooh. Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so is this like Vandal 21 Savage? Is this what we're doing here? Or is it Vandal the Savage? Is this what we're doing?
Nice.
I think he's 22 Savage.
Yeah, Vandal the Savage is where I'm sticking with. Because he is in fact classy, bougie.
And Ratchet.
And Ratchet, yes. Next up, for the multiracial delegation, Anna Marie, aka Rogue. No thoughts on Rogue? Multiracial Rogue? Stephanie?
Oh, sorry. I got super confused just now. So sorry. Sometimes I get confused on how you word things. So I don't know if you're gonna say something after you already say something. Okay.
Got it.
So multiracial rogue.
Rogue.
Multiracial means like all of them, right?
No, it just means
Oh.
multiple. So I think she's just half black, half white in this version.
Okay. So
She's still she's still the same Rogue. She's still from the South. She still
Yeah.
has the accent. She still has cakes. So she still has the cakes, and now she's got black cakes. You know.
yeah. She's still gonna call me sugar. So
Yeah, she's still gonna she's gonna call you
Like-
sugar.
So yeah, I can concur.
Agent, here's so I apologize because I made a typo, and I think this typo made its way into multiple media. But his name is P. Cleary, not P. Clearly. My apologize, because my apologies. But he is a member of, what's that group called? Damage Control.
Yeah,
And,
Department of Damage Control.
Yeah. So Agent Cleary from Damage Control for the Native American delegation. Stephanie?
I think
Thumbs
she's
up, thumbs-
researching.
Yeah, I
Oh.
don't know who you're talking about.
I thought we're doing this like first impressions. No research.
Oh, okay, ready. Okay. Quick, ask me again.
Agent Cleary from Damage Control for Native American delegation.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Yeah, five.
Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
All right, for the South Asian delegation, Madam Xanadu. She's like, who is Madam Xanadu?
I just know the song. Yeah,
Okay.
so
So you're do you like the song?
I mean it's a catchy 80s pop.
Okay, so
So-
South Asian 80s bop. Are you into it? It's okay to be thumbs down. It's all right.
I think I'm just gonna say yes to everybody.
That's not fun.
But like everything sounds
Large.
good.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so next up, Dr. Darcy Lewis for the white delegation. Do you not like Darcy? Are you one of the people who don't like Darcy?
I was never a fan of Kat Dennings Like,
Oh.
in my entire life.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
so
I'm
when she
so
was in the
sorry
first
that
Thor,
I'm
in the
so
second
sorry
Thor,
that you
I
have
was
to
like-
go, Stephanie. No, I'm just
Well-
playing. I'm just playing. Keep going.
Well, yeah, okay. So I just not really a fan of Kat Dennings, and I actually like hated her in like the first two movies. But
What about in
And
WandaVision though?
in WandaVision, I was just like, oh, she's not as annoying as I remember her to be. And then I rewatched all the Thor
all
1
the
and
Thor
Thor 2,
stuff?
obviously. It's Marvel, so I watch it like every month. So I went back and I watched them and I was like, she's not as annoying as I remember her to be. So I think maybe I was just too young.
Mm.
Fair.
Because those movies, I was 11 years ago now.
Yeah, it was a
The
while
first
ago.
Thor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, damn. Yeah. So, I think I was just
So
too
that's-
young to get her
so that's-
humor.
There you go. So there you go. Thumbs up on sounds like thumbs up for Kat Dennings.
Here's my
and-
issue with the Kat Dennings pick.
Okay.
It is technically a steal because she is Jewish.
Ooh, I did not know this.
Yeah. So
Is the character Jewish though?
I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not sure. However,
Yeah. Oh well.
What's
you know,
Darcy's last name?
Lewis,
Lewis.
that could be anything.
It's more Britain, I think.
Yeah, and, let Stephanie Lewis say what she thinks about this.
I mean, I've Googled my name for years. It always comes up different stuff. I see like Europe, I see Jewish, I see
Well.
German, I see
Well, this is clearly a
Irish.
situation
Yeah,
where the
so-
Jewish delegation should have like
Mhm.
secured this specific character because they missed out. They missed out.
The surname Lewis could be an Anglicization
Anglo-Saxon.
Sure. Of several like-sounding Jewish surnames, such as Levi, Levi, whatnot, and so on. So,
Well, this is why sometimes the power of the racial draft is to just eliminate all doubt.
Ellis Island racial drafted Darcy Lewis first, and then the white delegation did it again.
Yes. The Polynesian delegation, they got themselves Ronnie Raymond, aka Firestorm.
wait, which delegation?
The Polynesian delegation.
I'm gonna say yeah. So no,
Yeah.
because like I really like learning about Firestorm, and don't judge me because I like the Flash, and don't judge me again, and don't judge me for Legends of Tomorrow, and because I like that's how I know about Firestorm. So
Yeah, so we had to clarify.
yeah.
We had to clarify because
Okay.
in order to get both people, like he would have had to draft both Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein in order to but because Firestorm generally looks like one of them, Firestorm is still going to look like Polynesian Ronnie Raymond, even if he's still got Martin Stein bouncing around in his head.
So are you saying if I draft Martin Stein, I somehow steal?
I'm not
Ooh.
saying that you don't steal him. I'm just saying that you might get some of the Firestorm points. Well, we'll figure that out. But and then the final pick of the round, Violet Harper, aka Halo. I don't know if you guys watch Young Justice, but if you do, she is actually a race pet character. There is a blonde-haired Violet Harper who doesn't get used a lot, who is also Halo, but this reimagined version of the character is also Swanna, and she wears head covering, and it's a little complicated because of her her Young Justice origin, where like she dies and comes back, and now she has like a different persona living within her, but she's still like visually and still feels some kind of cultural tie to Islam and her national identity. So good acquisition, or defensive acquisition, so to speak, for the Swanna MENA delegation with Halo. Do you watch Young Justice, Stephanie?
I actually put it on the other day because I thought the baby would like it, but he did not pay attention at all. So I usually I have cartoons and stuff on in the day, so I put it on and I was like,
Young Justice is a little bit.
Is that Wally? And I was like, oh, I actually need to watch this show. So I had to
Young
turn it
Justice
off.
is like pretty intricate as far as the animated series go. Like it's not necessarily something that I would recommend for like a younger child. It's more something because they go through more like teen stuff, teen young adult type stuff. But it's high recommend for me. I think it's one of the best animated.
I heard
DC
it's really
series.
good.
Yeah. But so I think this is season 4, right, Toriono?
4, yes.
Yeah, season 4. So
yeah, I think we're on Young Justice Phantoms, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you're in for a ride if you're just joining up on the Young Justice thing. So keep us posted on that.
I'm gonna have to start like next week. We all collectively have a lot going on this week.
Oh, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's not something you should rush through either.
Yeah.
Because the storylines are really good. But that was those were the 10 picks. I don't think I think there was only one family chain this week, and I think that was just Daisy Johnson's father, Mr. Hyde, aka. Well, we'll go through it. We'll go pick by pick slowly, and we're doing it right now. We're starting off with Catalina Chavez, aka Canada Chavez. Carlos, talk us through it.
She's a new character, less than a year old. And she was introduced as part of America Chavez's rebooted
Revamping.
origin. Yeah. And she's basically the sister America Chavez didn't know she had, but who remembers her. And it's just like, you left me here. Like, you pieced out with your star portals and left me to continue to be experimented upon, and is very angry. And so there's the on the one hand, America Chavez, part of her story is that she is separate from her family, like her biological family. She knows she has them, and she can't be with them, and she has this one tether to that family, and that one tether hates her. And so it's a tragic character that I really do hope they flesh out. I do think it's one of the best things about that rebooted origin, that retcon. And I hope that that's something that gets fleshed out in the comics. You know, I don't know about the movies, not necessarily, because it does appear that they're going with the original origin, but
I mean, but I feel like there's a way to square that circle at some point.
Sure.
I hope they do, because I agree. I like her character. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. She doesn't have the star portal power, right?
I'm trying to remember it. I think she just kind of has I think she's got Exodus's powers, where she can just do anything else. I think she's just kind of got like energy blasts or something. I honestly don't remember. I do believe America has more powers than her, or at least did. And then they nerfed America at the end of that origin.
Oh no, see, I assumed that she had all the same powers that America has, except for the star portals.
Maybe that might be right, honestly. Like I've read through it once.
Because she's, she kicks the shit out of America often.
Correct.
Early and often.
Yeah.
But, and of course, like you said, she's motivated by the fact that she feels like America left her behind. And I think that, and what I'm saying is that, even in the MCU, there's a way that they could basically have it where she had this sister, and for whatever reason, she just totally forgot that she had a sister, that the trauma of, what she went through.
Well, yeah, because I mean, MCU canon, they've got her powers kicking in at like age 5 or something like that. And it's very easy that you just forgot about or didn't know about, a sister or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, one thing that's, we can go back and forth about whether the retcon like totally worked with regard to America Chavez. One thing that I did like about what they changed about America Chavez, they actually gave her a family in, I believe, Washington Heights, that she spent time with, and like
the Santanas,
Santanas, the surrogate family. That's one element that I wish the movies did give her.
That's like, when I read that, I was like, oh, there's the Disney Plus series. Like, I totally see it. Like, I could see it, the whole thing. I was like, this, you've got a rich family here to deal with, and family dynamics with America Chavez. But that'll be the 50th time I brought that up on this show. So
because again, that creates another reason for Catalina to resent her sister. Because like, not only did you forget about me, but then you had this whole adopted family that you consider to be more family than me.
Right. Exactly.
So I like it. And I, obviously we have to talk Toriono here, who's in possession of America Chavez for the delegation. Do you have any thoughts about how to make it work with America Chavez's sister, her Latina sister? Is it just that, she was adopted by a Native American family and she chose that as her identity? Like, what's your take on how to like reconcile the sibling relationship? I know I'm putting you on the spot. So
no. I think it's perfect. I think the easiest way for me and Carlos to reconcile, I'm not entirely sure in the comics what they are in terms of their Latinx definition. But I would say that we can make both of them Mayan.
I would counter. I see your Mayan, and I would counter with Taino, because at the very least, the retcon kind of establishes that they're Caribbean at the very least, like Caribbean.
I mean, it's pretty Puerto Rican. No,
it's pretty Puerto Rican. At the very least, we can agree Taino, Caribbean, Latinos, which would be the Taino tribe.
Okay. Taino.
Yeah. Okay. So looked up Catalina's powers. She can fly. She can move at supersonic speed like her sister. She has like lightning bolt projection. So she's kind of evil emperor. She's got that power. Blue lightning.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah.
So, but she doesn't have the star portals though.
She doesn't have the star portals, which is America couldn't control the star portal the first time, fell through it by accident, and her sister was there looking in like, hey, what the hell? As it's closing up, so.
Okay.
But
so,
also, she is smarter than America. She has the knowledge. She has.
Yes. She was because she was brought up by that doctor, right? Like the doctor who experimented on her, like basically continued to experiment on her because
correct.
Chavez. Yeah. So,
yeah,
that's the part that I wish went away. But
the doctor, the mad scientist of it is kind of. There's a happy medium between the two origins. There just is, and one day.
Yeah. But
so we can put it together.
Hopefully, I mean, there's still room. Retcons can still happen. So the people currently sitting at 100% approval, which is good. Hopefully
it should be.
Hopefully it stays that way. Exactly. Let's move on. Right now, we talked a fair amount actually about Exodus. So let's jump right into currently sitting at 83.3% approval rating. 83.4% approval rating. So we'll see whether it gets that extra 7% or 6.3% as well. And we shall see. East Asian Quake. As we know, Chloe Bennett is half Asian, but for the purpose of the racial draft, they just went ahead and took that white man completely out of the lineage via family chaining. So now she's fully Asian. I approve. I don't know if you guys approve, but I approve. I approve of East Asian Quake. And the people agree currently, sitting at 100%.
Yes.
I just found out this week that Chloe Bennett went to my high school. I mean, like 8 years or so after I went, but like she left midway through to go pursue a singing career in China.
Oh yeah. I've watched the videos. They're great.
Okay, so she left like I guess.
Was she still Chloe Wang back then? Because I thought she became Chloe Bennett
she
just
was
for
Chloe
acting.
Wang. Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah.
So she was at my high school until I think her sophomore year or something, and then she moved to China, which sounds
crazy.
That sounds like a rumor you'd make up about someone in high school. Like,
right.
What happened to Chloe? She moved to China to become a singer. Like,
right?
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. You know what? We're just gonna put that in Quake's backstory. She spent some time in China as a pop singer. Daisy Johnson. Like even Daisy Johnson was originally Daisy Wang, but she changed her name to Johnson so that she could better assimilate in S.H.I.E.L.D. That's
there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So yeah, like I said, the family chaining of Calvin Zabo, her biological father, who was played by Kyle MacLachlan. Is that his name?
Yeah, I love him.
Well, no longer, because now he's Asian. As per racial draft rules, Calvin Zabo, Mr. Hyde, currently sitting at 100% approval rating, and that's fine because that's what it takes biologically to make her. Sorry, I have to explain that to you, birds and bees. But that moves us to the Black delegation and Vandal Savage, and I had to find pictures of Vandal Savage with the whitest nose possible. So, but
Okay.
since you are here, Randy's not here. We're gonna have to rely on you, Stephanie, to let us know what your thoughts are about a Black Vandal Savage. Vandal the Savage, sorry.
It would kind of sort of have to be like he would come from a otherworld Wakanda.
Interesting.
Not a Wakanda, but you know what I mean. Another world that had
Like a Black utopia.
yeah, like a Black utopia, but a whole other world.
But the whole thing about him though is that he was kind of like a caveman.
No, I know.
Okay. And then he decided instead of doing that, he was just going to be like various tyrants throughout time. And that's
So he's
that's
like
the,
an angry.
that's
What's
the
his
tough
face?
part. That's the tough part about Black Vandal Savage, because he's a villain. He's like historical villain. He was a Nazi. I tried to say that to Randy. He was a Nazi.
Yeah. I mean, as a ally to the Black delegation, I would probably say you make him, since it would be from starting from prehistoric times as a caveman, you could make him Aboriginal.
See, I'm gonna go full Hotep, and I'm gonna be like Yakub turned him into a white man. He strayed from the motherland, and through science, he changed his complexion, and it made him evil. And he's the root from which all white people come.
Or you could say he went to the Caucasus Mountains and became light skinned.
No, I'm going to say that he was the first white man.
Oh, he was the first white man.
He's the white man from which all other white people come. Like, he's the root.
I think at that point, that's not even a comic book thing anymore. That's like a life conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you want, listen, he's black. He's black, but he just, he's the broken piece of the.
He's the part of the puzzle that we don't talk about.
Yeah,
the white sheep of the family.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then that's how it fits. It's like, now wants to rule the world. He wants to, go to all these different places and become the tyrant, and it's just because he lost sight of where he came from. He lost sight of where he came from. Because there is right, exactly. It's like, because there is a thing in his origin where like a meteorite, he came in contact with a meteorite that gave him powers, and from that meteorite came white power. That's what I'm hearing.
Are we gonna get like a comic book strip of him saying white power?
It's a white. It's a meteor white, is what I'm saying. And then he just spends the whole rest of his life just trying to run away from his African roots. I think that's where we're at. I think that's where we're at. What do you think? What do you think, Stephanie?
I don't know. You guys said so much stuff just now.
It was deep.
I told you I gotta go Hotep.
I know.
Hotep here.
Okay, so because I still never have any idea what's happening in real life. So you can't participate, correct? You might, Mike.
I mean, I'm participating in the sense of like throwing stuff out, but I mean, it's not official.
Okay. I was like, a question I wanted to ask like 17 minutes ago. Now for this, am I still supposed to say yes to a Black Vandal Savage or no to a Black?
Oh, no.
Vandal
I mean,
that's
he's
locked
black.
in.
I have a black.
He's black. That's
so
locked
he's
in.
locked in.
He's locked in as black.
Now make it make sense.
This is just like the
But I have to
discussion.
make it make sense. I told you.
No.
I'm fresh.
We're just having
Okay.
a discussion. We're throwing out
What
ideas.
if like
if
what if like
Randy,
he
here-
was like,
Okay, go on.
Okay, go ahead. No,
No, I was gonna say I was gonna say Randy made the pick. So like Randy would be the person that I'd be like grilling if he was here about the pick. But
Okay.
because you didn't make the pick, I'm just asking questions and I'm just
Okay.
trying to see like, what you think.
Okay, so
It finally became the podcast where the host says, I'm just asking questions.
villain, super villain, never gonna change. Cro-Magnon and was a Nazi.
At one point he was, yes. He was also a Mongol. He was also Genghis Khan.
It's a lot of squares to circle.
Mhm. He was just a whole bunch of tyrants throughout time, from prehistoric time.
Hold on.
Yep.
That's why I feel like the Hotep route is the right route to go. He
feel like
touched
it
he touched the chemical. It unlocked some kind of like, Caucasian gene, and he was off the races from there on out. He was just colonizer. Full on colonizer. He didn't know what hit him.
He discovered pumpkin spice, and that's and that's what
Bullet.
led to eons of tyranny.
Eons of tyranny.
He said, I
You know,
am
like
the
when your
most
mom's
powerful
like-
being in the world.
Every day we get farther away from God's light. I mean, we'll think it over. You don't have to lock anything in, Stephanie. This is just an idea,
Okay, because I'm
Just
like, I'm overwhelmed with information.
I mean, this is what happens every now and
I
then.
know.
You get a character draft that's like hard to square. It's kind of like, he's got thousands and thousands and thousands of years of history to have to like, make work with his at no point did he want to go back to his people. At no point did he want to uplift Black people. I feel like, there's something to talk about. And that's why he was the first coon, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can make him an Uncle Ruckus.
Vandal Ruckus.
Vandal Ruckus Savage.
But like, if you make him that, what happens afterwards?
Oh, I feel like everything naturally flows from there.
Yeah, everything naturally flows.
Everything else that he does, it's like, yeah, I'm a white supremacist. Of course I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like Tyrone Biggums. Dave Chappelle.
Oh, no.
No.
I haven't thought about that in a very long time.
And and again, this is why it's so hard to find pictures of him with his wide nose. He's making sure that all pictures of him with a wide nose get destroyed, so that they just like. I feel like you could work at it. He's just trying to deny his African heritage.
Yeah, he's trying to beat the allegations. That's all.
Yeah. Over time, he's doing like lightning treatments. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
So we'll go back to it. Right now, the approval rating on that is sitting at 66.7. So it's still got time. Maybe this story has makes it make a little bit more sense, and people want to approve of it. If not, I understand. That brings us to the multiracial delegation and our gal Sugar Rogue. Like we said before, there's definitely multiracial people in the South, definitely light-skinned Black people who, identify with Southern culture, call themselves Southern Belles. I believe she's from Mississippi, if I recall. And I already said she's got cakes. I feel like that, the fact that Rogue is like the thick X-Men already kind of bodes well for her having a little something other than just whiteness. Like she can't just be a pog.
A pog.
If you know what that means, shame on you.
Bonk, 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 bonk.
All right. Well, the people approve of multiracial rogue right now, sitting at 100% approval. So we're gonna keep
Ooh.
at it. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of 100% approval and some bonus points coming, 100% approval rating for South Asian Jason Blood, aka the Demon. You know, also probably would have been acceptable for Black Jason Blood, since the Demon does speak in rhymes. But
Saying he got bars is what you're
he's
saying.
got, yeah, exactly. Jason bars.
He's got bars.
Yeah,
Got bars.
yeah, the Demon definitely got bars. But listen, I have heard some South Asian rappers, so they can make it work. So yes, Jason Blood, South Asian. Give me his 20 bonus points. Go ahead and vamp a little bit just so I can get to the row.
I mean, what kind of bars? Is he an East Coast? Do we think the Demon is an East Coast rapper or a West Coast rapper?
I mean, we're talking about demons. He's got to be from like rapping like Texas, like.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's got to be dirty South, you know
Like
what I mean?
Houston rap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Chopped and screwed,
Yeah. I feel like you can rhyme demon with lean. I think you can get it in there. Yeah, it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. You're right. So yeah. Moving on. Unfortunately, only 72% approval rating for Native American Moon Girl. However, more Moon Girl to come. But couldn't quite get that. Get people convinced. Listen, Lunella Lafayette. So she's a Black girl. Everybody loves her. You had to get out there out in front with the explanation. I think people initially were like a little bit skeptical of that.
Yeah.
Speaking of skeptical, we're up to you, Agent. See, there's my typo. P Clearly. Agent Cleary, who we will be seeing this week on Ms. Marvel, played by now I'm going to remember his name. Vamp for a second, the guy from Succession.
Yes. I forget his name. He's a really good actor. We saw him in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes, we did.
I believe we saw him in another property as well before, right? I want to say we saw him in something else other than No Way Home.
Another Marvel thing?
I think we did.
I don't think he's been in anything other than No Way Home.
Yes, so his name is Arian Moayed or Moyed. But you're taking him off the board. You're recasting him. So go ahead and recast him, Toriono.
Yeah.
Tell Ariad Moyed that he's no longer, services are no longer needed.
Yeah. Arian, I'm so sorry to make you lose a job, but you're still in Succession, so I believe you're still going to be making some solid money. For me, I want to fan cast or recast Graham Greene as my Agent P. Cleary, just because that we've seen in the comics that it's more of an older character, an older take on the character. So I felt that an older actor made more sense, an old Native American actor. Graham Greene, he's done well in the more of like the detective or cop style shows. So I thought he made sense not only as fitting the character age-wise, but also being able to play a character like that.
Okay. I mean, and I'm going to go ahead. I mean, since you took the time out to come up with a reimagined backstory for him, feel free to jump in and elaborate anywhere. Cleary will have joined Damage Control in an effort to protect native land. He despises reckless superheroes and anyone with the ability to damage the planet. His goal is to be a moral compass on policing superheroes and keeping native land safe. This aligns with the 616 comic version and gives a little tie-in to being Native American. In this iteration, he will be from the Seneca tribe. And Graham Greene, like you said, an older interpretation of Cleary. So in your mind, is he more of a bureaucrat or more of like a cop type guy?
You said a cop type guy, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would say more of a bureaucrat. More so like he wants to, I guess you could say like he's more of like laying the hammer down on someone. Like he's very no nonsense as a character. We kind of see that in Spider-Man No Way Home, where he's
But
playing
in that
bad
one,
cop.
he was definitely more like a cop though than a bureaucrat. You know,
Yeah.
like in the trailer, like because they showed him in the trailer, he looked like you thought he was like an NYPD cop. You know,
Mhm.
in the trailer, it wasn't only when we actually watched the movie that we found out that he was a damage control agent. You
Mhm.
know, and I do wonder if that's the direction that they're moving damage control into, kind of a watchdog enforcement group more so than kind of what we expected damage control to be, which is just like um, cleaning up after the heroes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for the
Oh, I
show.
forgot. You've seen it.
So
Yes. So don't spoil anything. Just
yeah.
we're just gonna move ahead. We're gonna move ahead. Yeah.
I mean, but I can talk a little bit more about the character itself. I chose the Seneca tribe because that is a tribe that is more relatively known to the Northeast coast,
Okay.
mainly Michigan area and New York area.
Okay.
And I believe in the comics, the character is from, I believe, Grand Lansing, Michigan.
Oh,
Um,
got it. Got it.
off of the top of my head, I believe that's where he's from. So I thought it made sense for him to be from that area and also work in the New York area. And for it to still make sense for the Seneca tribe because the Seneca tribe was in both land masses.
Mhm.
So I thought it met perfectly. It was a perfect marriage for the character to be from the Seneca tribe. And
So one more thing, I'm going to put you on the spot. He
mhm.
goes by the initial P Cleary. What does P stand for?
I can't remember what it said. P
No, I mean in your version. I mean
in
in
my
your
version, for P,
haha, put you on the spot. Got it.
you got me. Um,
Well, that's okay. I mean, you're still gonna get the 25 bonus points for the backstory. So
Nice.
you know, give yourself a hand and let other people know that maybe they want to do some backstories and get some points.
oh yeah.
That brings us to South Asian Madame Xanadu. Her real name before she was Madame Xanadu was Nimue Inwudu. She, which does sound like an African name, but she's not African. She is the younger sister of Morgan Le Fay. So she goes all the way back to that time, to the Camelot days. But there have definitely been depictions of her with brown, brown skin. Obviously, there are some ties between the British Empire with that part of the world, so it isn't too much of a stretch to imagine, her being kind of exoticized, brought over, and she's been around for many years. She does tarot readings. She's does magic in that respect, and you know, it's kind of a British magical. One of the things that I've noticed in this time around, pretty much all our magic characters are coming from South Asian and or the Black delegation. So we're sticking with Justice League Dark, meaning some dark skinned people. So I'm fine with that. People seem to be fine with that so far, sitting at 100% approval rating. So we will press ahead.
If I may interject, I think I
Sure.
have a name for Agent P. Cleary.
Okay.
For P, I want to name him Palaton, which will
Okay.
probably I'm not sure exactly the pronunciation for it, but it's Pallaton, and the
Okay.
meaning is fighter. So
Got it.
I think it makes sense for him to have a name like that.
Okay. Falling short of our 90% threshold, very disappointing. Mr. Terrific, only 83%. So no bonus points for the multiracial delegation for Mr. Terrific. Michael Holt didn't make it. Currently, we talked a lot about Darcy Lewis, and looks like the people are not approving to the extent that they should be approving. So because right now she is at 81.8% approval for white Darcy Lewis. Was that you, Stephanie? Was that you downvoting for Darcy?
You know, I'm really thinking about it, and I don't even know if I did or not, because I feel like I saw it and I said, "Oh yeah." Then I went back and I said, "Let me go back." I think I probably hit disagree.
All right. Well, there you go. Now we know. But you know who did hit 90%? 92% approval rating for the Black Watcher. You know, we got a Black Watcher in Jeffrey Wright on What If,
yeah.
and you know, I don't know too many people who disapproved of that. So, you know, shout out to the Black delegation for one, you know, every now and then giving the people what they want. So go ahead and get those bonus points, Black delegation. See what happens when you play to the people. See what happens.
I like the idea of like the Black Watcher, like the person who sees all being a Black person, because like whenever there's a news story, I mean, first person they interview who saw it all is always a Black person. But imagine if this person like saw literally all, like just everything.
Wait, so that does that mean that like he just will like give the most ratchet like version of what happened? He's
But
like,
it's
man,
Jeffrey,
you should have seen that, yo.
but it's Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, Jeffrey Wright's out there, like in his very like, you know, Jeffrey Wright serious voice, being like, I went out for a cold pop when when suddenly I smelled smoke and I said, oh Lord, there's a fire. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. We teased this earlier, but we got more fan art from our favorite Chargans, Charlotte. No, Charlene, sorry. Not well, hopefully she hasn't made it this far into the podcast. But she gave us some beautiful Moon Girl fan art, and you know what that means? Points for the Native American delegation.
Nice.
Bonus points.
That fan art looked like it could be the cover of like a YA novel about Moon Girl. It was so good.
Oh my gosh, it was phenomenal.
That's a book cover.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty awesome. So, you know, find it on our socials, on our Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, Racial Draft, racial.draft on Instagram, Racial Draft Pod on Twitter. And, you know, like it, share it, retweet it, do all the things, because more people need to see it. It's awesome. And like we said before, Ronnie Raymond, Firestorm. Isn't he just kind of like a jock? Isn't that his deal? Like he's a jock that got superpowers?
Yes.
Football playing dude. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, there are Polynesian football players, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Polynesians are huge.
yeah. So, you know, Ronnie Raymond, boom. Not too much of a stretch. But I still would like to hear, you know, like the Tommy special. Tommy's been holding out on us this season with his backstories. They're very disappointing. But so far the people are fully approving. We'll see if it holds up. Disappointing, probably the most disappointing outcome of the week in terms of approval ratings is the fact that there was only 80% approval rating for Jimmy Woo, for East Asian Jimmy Woo.
Insane.
Yes, that
Insane.
was
Someone out there is like, Jimmy Woo, can't see it. Nope. I don't understand. Doesn't feel Asian to me. Doesn't feel right.
They
were like Jimmy Woo, Jimmy Woo, Wu Tang. Tang is a drink. It was just how far do you have to go from Jimmy Woo to get to this is not acceptable that he is East Asian.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Fans of the Jada Pinkett movie Woo from back in the 90s? Is this what we're getting at? I don't know. Is it Ric Flair fans? Is it Woo? I don't. Nope. Thumbs down for whoever disapproved. Thumbs down for you. And like I said before, Violet Harper. You guys should watch Young Justice and catch up on the character. I can't do her justice with a paragraph here or there, but currently sitting at 100% approval. So keep that up, people. So yeah, couple more approvals. Got to give those bonus points. The Jewish delegation, look at them making popular picks. Scott Lang, Jewish Scott Lang, as played by what's his face? It's played by Paul Rudd, who's also
Paul Rudd.
And Jewish Cassie Lang, both got 100% approvals.
Okay,
I approve of this approval. So gonna go ahead and give those 20 bonus points. But that is the week of racial draft picks in business. You guys have any things that you'd like to see in the upcoming week 5 of our 25-week extravaganza? Sorry, I mean, it's not week 5 of 25. It's we'll be up to week 17 of our 25. Week
Okay.
5.
I was like,
week 5 of our supplemental draft, because we still had our main draft.
right.
Yeah. Anything?
How's that main draft going? Who's
Oh, you guys want to check in terms of where we are?
Who's winning?
We are in the points. Let's see. Obviously there still are some FCL points to be added, but I'm going to I'm going to try to go from lowest to highest in terms of points. Currently with 373 points, the Polynesian delegation.
Okay.
With 382 points, the Swana Mena delegation. With 468 points, the Jewish delegation.
All right. Congratulations to everyone so far.
With 542 points, the white delegation.
All right.
With 596 points, the East Southeast Asian delegation.
We're getting pretty high. I mean, how much higher could we possibly go?
I don't know.
With 612 points, the Native American delegation.
All right.
With 633 points, the South Asian delegation.
633. That is a very high number. Anything above that would have to be incredibly impressive.
With 690 points, the multiracial delegation.
You're exaggerating. There's no way anyone got that high.
With 706 points, the Black delegation.
Oh wow. My gosh.
706. Wow.
And I guess that's it, guys. So there's nobody else to talk about. Oh, wow, that was great.
That was brief.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. With 997 points, the Latinx delegation.
997 points.
Yeah,
that's one excellent credit score.
Can you even get a 997?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think like 997 would be like Elon Musk's credit score. It's like, sir, you already own this. Like,
yeah, you own the credit.
That is the extra credit score right there.
You own credit. That's it. All of it belongs to you.
Yes, but yeah, everybody give a hand to the Latinx delegation once again, showing us that when it comes to racial supremacy, no one can beat the Spanish speaking individuals.
Yeah. It's good to get a win somewhere racially. Our story is one of being conquered and overcoming that for decades.
Yeah, we've really upended the racial hierarchy by having the first place the Latinx delegation and second place the Black delegation.
That's it. Yeah.
This must be what the supremacists are talking about when they're working.
I think this is what The Rock keeps talking about, like the balance of powers of
no, the hierarchy of power,
the
hierarchy of power of racial supremacy is about to change. 997 points. So yeah, look forward to the Black Adam trailer. African American Adam, as I like to call him, this week. Look forward to more racial draft shenanigans. Look forward to hopefully less technical shenanigans. Maybe we'll make it through a show without everything shutting down. But the powers that be, they're trying to silence us. That's what I'm hearing. That's what people are saying. People are saying that that we're being silenced. The racial draft is. Listeners, if this is your first episode, I deeply apologize, but we're going to keep trying to do this. We're going to keep pushing ahead with our discussions about race and comics and geek spaces. We're going to try to keep making it fun, but also still getting deep when we need to, and having the discussions that need to be had about representation and inclusion. Everybody let them know, let the people know where they can find you. Toriono, hype whatever stuff you have dropping this week.
Oh yeah, you can follow me on all social media, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at 90210.
90210.
90210. Some people get confused with the zero, so I just try.
Oh, okay, got it. Apparently they don't watch 90s teen shows. That's just weird.
Yeah, I guess I'm just an old head, at this point. Everybody calls me one. So yeah, like you can follow me on all social media, 90210 TORIONO. That's Toriono. And I just dropped my Percy Jackson cast and crew production beginning article with Agents of Fandom, and follow Comic Book Saga.
Yeah, that's your podcast, right?
Yes, that is my podcast.
So tell the people where they can find your podcast.
You can find our podcast wherever you listen to Racial Draft Podcast, and follow us on all social medias at Comic Book Saga. Comic Book Saga.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll invite me on your podcast. Maybe one day.
Yeah, I'm trying to start getting more guests on there. So I'll be looking forward to having Mike on there, having more people from Agents of Fandom as well, more people from Racial Draft Podcast as well. So I'm excited.
All right. And Stephanie, where can they find you?
Only everywhere. Just kidding. I did my first live stream on Twitch the other day.
Awesome.
It was so scary because I had no idea what I was doing. So I was gaming and I was trying to figure out how it worked. And then I was embarrassed because I kept dying. I was playing this game. But it was still cool. I set it up all by myself and I read like 14 different articles at once trying to figure out how to like go live on Twitch. So
I like how you didn't say what game it was because no free ads.
No. It was Tiny Tina's Wonderland. It's like a spin-off of a Borderlands game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now they can find you on Twitch is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you can watch me die horribly playing video games.
I mean,
I'm like really bad at it.
Hopefully that's not a draw for our listenership, but if it is, we gotta revamp our content a little bit. But
Get some video games in here.
So is that under Screen Sisters or is that under?
It's under Screen Sisters.
So Screen Sisters everywhere.
Screen Sisters everywhere. Twitter. We have a SoundCloud, but we have not updated that in a very long time. And YouTube. So most of our videos are on YouTube. Like I said, we try to record all the time, but we're both in college I have an offspring. So we don't really get to do stuff on certain times, but tomorrow it might happen. So
All
yeah.
right.
I hope your
Watch out.
SoundCloud is just like really problematic old gangster rap.
Straight sisters in the place to be.
I guess it's a bad time to tell you guys that we actually have a music video.
Nice.
It's a great time to tell us that.
Is
That is
it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I might find the music video and make that the cover art.
Yeah, but you have to find the name it's under.
Oh,
Okay. So it sounds like I'm just photoshopping your faces on salt and pepper is what I'm actually doing.
That's what it sounds like.
I say their faces on Paul Abdul and what is the name of the animated
and
cat?
The
yes,
cat?
and is it Scat Cat or
I
is it
think
like
it's Scat
DJ
Cat.
DJ
Scat
Scat
Cat.
Cat? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was MC Scat Cat.
It's
It
maybe
is
it
MC,
is MC
yeah.
Scat. All right. So are you Paul Abdul or the cat? You get to choose.
I think
Are you 2 steps forward or 2 steps back? Is what I'm hearing.
I'm just trying to get the attitude of like her and him and which kind of one more is like me.
Yeah. I really hope your attitude is more like a human being and not
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And Carlos, where can they find you?
You find me on Twitter at Carlos Freitas Jr. I have also recently joined Agents of Fandom, and I have a piece up about how it's an MCU theory that perhaps not all of the characters we're seeing are in the 616. So yeah, throwing high heat. That's what I'm going.
High
High heat with the theories.
Yeah.
I am apparently not like invited into the Agents of Fandom party, but I may have a piece dropping from multiverse this week, talking about the Young Avengers.
Yay.
We talked about it earlier on the podcast. You can also find me running around the Twitters with my fingers, with MTFIII on Twitter. Don't find me anywhere else, but you can find the Racial Draft, all the places that podcasts happen, even SoundCloud. You can also find Racial Draft at Racial Draft Pod on Twitter, Racial.draft on Instagram, and Racial Draft on Facebook. We're we also have a Racial Draft Pod on I think it's Racial Draft Podcast on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll try to like keep pushing out our content. Right now it's very sporadic, but we're gonna try to be better about doing regular YouTube content, and we are going to guarantee that the algorithm will not turn you into a white supremacist if you follow us.
We are also at We Only Sound Brown on Parler. We're not at Racial Draft there, and also on what is the Truther app for that Trump has, where you instead of tweet truths that you put up.
In that version of the podcast, all the delegations are orange, so it's very confusing.
Yeah.
But and we're still working on our OnlyFans facial draft, but we'll
La Facha.
I've heard it a million times. It's always
Wait, so is there really an OnlyFans happening? Is that a real conversation you guys were having?
I mean, conversations have been had, but I don't know how serious they are.
OnlyFans only lets me keep 5 feeds going, so they won't let me on to the Racial Draft one. I've got my own 5. So
I understand. And I mean, there may be feet involved whenever it happens. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Also, since I've been promoting it throughout, if you'd like me to upgrade my computer, find us on Patreon and give us money. Give us money at the Racial Draft Pod, so that I can upgrade my software, and you won't get extra commercial breaks. To hide the fact that things are crashing all around us. But we will pick up on that thread next week, because until next time, all things are possible.